What I tried to do was distill down a process which we could use to evaluate people that used the closest data to the real job as possible. And in order to do that experiment, what I did was I made sure we had a very rigorous 90-day onboarding process. Like we had 30, 60, 90-day check-ins. And I would just shrink the interview time over a period of weeks. So we had like a 2 or 3 hour interview, like with 3 different people, different technical, like whiteboard coding back then, but also coding on a laptop, technical deep dive, architecture. And I kept shortening it by 15 minutes. So it'd be like 3 hours and it's 2:45 and 2:30, 2:20, 2:15, like all the way down. And we got it down to 15 minutes. And what we realized was the people coming in, the signal wasn't changing. Like the thing we thought in 15 minutes was true, was still true, was the same signal we were getting from a 3 hour interview. And what we did was we shifted that time. So we still spent 3 hours, but we used that time in onboarding instead to make sure they were a fit in the company. And by that, I mean, we really spent time with them and set expectations that, hey, in the first 90 days, we're going to both evaluate. You evaluate us as the company. We're going to evaluate you as the employee. And let's use that data as a way to see if you're a fit for the company. And what we learned were 2 really important things. One was, even when people didn't make it through the 90 days, they were grateful for having like a 90-day shot instead of like a 2 hour, 3 hour interview shot, because you're right, anxiety is what you're testing there. And instead they got to program, in our case, pair program for a period of time with different people on different teams and really had a real shot at coming in. And the second thing we learned was that we were removing bias from our interview process because we were just removing the interview, right? So if you think about interviews as a bias introduction machine, like how does somebody look? How tall are they? What race are they? Gender? Did they go to the same, like, is this someone I want to have beer with, which is like a culture question? All that goes away when you don't interview. And instead you just look at the work. And so we ended up with all kinds of people who didn't have degrees, who did, older, younger, men, women, different races, because we didn't care.